Hello listeners, this is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard! Kai Havertz in the Champions League final! Ivanovic! Yes. In the middle, it's just behind him, but it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver! Matic takes the net off!
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode...
Oh no! We suck again!
Oh, welcome back, everyone, to another episode. It's all positive of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in a virtual room filled with every lion. I got Ollie, I got Berth, I got Chris. Hey, what a weekend. So much positivity on the Chelsea front. So, other than Chelsea, we'll park that. What were your moments from the weekend?
To be honest with you, I was a very alcohol-fueled weekend. I was out with friends. I played darts. I played cricket at some point. You know, just those sorts of things. And it was actually really good. It was a really good Easter, to be fair. And I enjoyed it. So, and it's good to be back on the pod as well. So.
I've never played cricket in a pub, to be fair, but I can imagine smacking a dart.
It was a place called Sixes. So I went to a flight club yesterday to play darts, and then a place called Sixes in Birmingham on Thursday. Just like an inside net, and it's if you have a look at it on Google, it's really cool. Nice. It's a good night out. It's something a bit different, and yeah, even if you don't like cricket, it's good. So go
fair.
there.
It'd be good if there was a place next door called Sevens, and it was a pub, right? And
no, that would be good.
If you just got absolutely smashed there.
What? And it just sold Sprite.
Yeah.
Ollie, what was your highlight moment?
Ring the bell, folks. Quiet one for me.
Quiet.
Yeah, I'm quiet. Spending some time just so, like literally at those points. Every waking moment of my life is going towards planning my wedding in a month. So,
Chris, you've got a moment.
Yeah, probably.
The low light, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to get onto it. Probably my daughter's game on Saturday morning was the highlight. It was a really good game. She lost in the end, but it's the best game I've seen her have at the age up level. So that was a positive to take, even though we lost. But it's just a weekend of defeats, really, wasn't it? Let's be fair.
Yeah, someone's going to point out, yes, all my teams lost. Seattle, Chelsea women, yeah, they all lost. But my moment isn't even football. It's just, I watched a movie called The Guest. It came out in 2014. It stars Dan Stevens. And it's just a really damn good thriller movie. And I think listeners, you might be interested. I'll read the synopsis. Basically, a soldier, he's called David. He introduced himself to the Peterson family. He says he's a friend of their son who's died in action because they're military. And he's just welcomed into their home. And then some interesting events seem to be a little bit connected to his presence. It's 90 minutes. Honestly, it's one of the best things I've seen all year. It really, really is. Shut up if you say Madam Web. I know, but I've watched other stuff since. But it's honestly really good. It's really good.
To be fair, it would be hard for anything to be worse than Madam Web, right?
Well, some of our performances.
Oh dear.
Some of our podcasts, maybe. On that,
we're a good show.
We are.
I think the definitely unbiased Discord would agree.
Yeah, that is true. News. We rarely kick off Monday shows now with news, but new news emerged on Saturday evening that was a bit of a bombshell that fans who pre-ordered Beyonce's latest album on vinyl are reporting that 5 of its tracks have gone missing. But I care because Chelsea make me feel sad. But look, it was the Times, reputable paper in the UK. They reported that both Conor Gallagher and Reece James that was the key word, will be sold this summer. I mean, if it's true, that's a bloody disgrace. But I do want to point out before we all dive in that it's not a coincidence that these articles tend to follow on from a disappointing Chelsea result. There's a lot of them, so they get a lot of chances. But still, what do we think? What do we think on this one?
No, I think it's a load of nonsense.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Reece James one definitely. I don't know about Conor Gallagher, but I think the Reece James
we're all
definitely.
under the impression that they will take bids in for Gallagher, but then counter news came out like a day later about James and saying that we wouldn't even entertain 100 million for him or whatever. I think maybe I don't. What I think is I don't think they were actually planning on selling James. I think it was like a testing the waters thing to see how people would react to the idea.
Oh, that went well. What do you think, Chris?
I agree with the lads, but I mean, I wouldn't be shocked either. Let's be honest. I mean, I don't think any of us fully trust these owners to not do something stupid.
No, but at the same time,
would I be shocked? No.
Are they stupid enough to decide that fan sentiment literally does not matter at all and to sell the actual captain of the club? Like, sure, like maybe I'm just being hopeful, but surely they can't be that stupid.
Do they care? That's the real question.
That I mean, everyone knows I'm sick of the owners' pure profit bullshit. I've said it once, and I'll stand by it. But I would not be surprised. I mean, we heard there was slight suggestions on other shows that no one is off limits. So that would suggest even Cole Palmer. So if someone comes in and says 100 million, are we going to go, yep? I mean, it would be registered probably as about 60-ish million on the books, probably, because obviously...
I'm not saying we wouldn't do it for the money, but at the same time, I think it's worth remembering that, like, the best way for the current ownership to be able to make more money in the long run is to make the fans happy.
They're doing a good job of that.
I know, they're doing really well so far.
If it's financial, which would be the only reason for that to be an option, selling Gallagher and James, would you rather sell them to and be compliant with FFP, or keep them and get a points deduction?
Take the points deduction.
No,
they're too good. They're too good when they play.
Yeah, well, Reece James is barely fit though.
That's a valid
good point. It's a good point.
Are you going to take I think if you could guarantee them both to be available, then yeah.
Yeah, that's different, but unfortunately, Reece James won't be, and that's the sad problem.
Is the resident Reece James hater on the pod?
No, I don't. I absolutely don't hate Reece James. I think when he plays, he's the best right back in the league. But I'm just saying, he's not available.
Off camera, he said that he hates him and he hopes bad things happen.
False news. False news. Ollie's spreading stuff there. It's false news.
Just not true. It's just not true. Right. We'll move to the first game review, and it was Chelsea women. They had a League Cup final against Arsenal. And before we do hit that match report, we want to extend our love and support to Arsenal's Frida Maynham after she did collapse during that Conti Cup final. As of recording, we are told she's in stable condition, so that's good news. We wish her all the best. Now, the match report itself. Arsenal managed to secure another victory against the Blues. It was reminiscent, wasn't it, of last year's final. Despite a solid and determined performance by the Blues, Arsenal did clinch the win with a goal from Stina Blackstenius. Let's talk about the game overall. I mean, the first half, Moira Ramirez goal, what a goal, but it was disallowed due to a handball. Contentious for sure. I personally would err on the side of it wasn't deliberate, but it's the rule, we move. And positively, though, on our defence side, Hannah Hampton in goal made key saves to just keep the game 0-0. Moving to the second half, we saw both teams, they were quite evenly matched. Chelsea created some promising opportunities, didn't capitalise on them, unfortunately. We moved to extra time, and it was Arsenal who capitalised on a very late counter-attack. Blackstenius netted the decisive goal in the dying moments of extra time. It was just a disappointing day for this London derby in the League Cup final, and the quadruple is sadly over. So, Chris, you were there, you were one lucky person, because I really wish I could have got tickets to get lucky. That. That's the thing. I mean, he got to witness 120
you feel
minutes.
Lucky, Chris?
No, I did. No, I didn't. I didn't feel lucky.
Overall, though, I mean, we will talk the game. How did you find the experience and the atmosphere first?
Atmosphere was good. All I would say is the whole day sort of had a feel about that it was going to end in disappointment. I think from the Chelsea fans who was around from where we were sitting, I think everyone just had this worry that it was going to be one game too far in this month, and that's how it turned out in the end. But no, the atmosphere was good. It was a good day up until the about 118th minute. It was just a little disappointing, the fact that it seemed, and I think football always seems different when you're actually there than when you're watching it on the TV. So I haven't actually watched the game back yet, but from being there and how it felt yesterday, it just felt like we sort of tried not to lose rather than win. Very, very safe with the passing. I mean, Jess Carter touched the ball yesterday more than any footballer's ever touched the ball in a game of football, I'm pretty sure, because every single player on the pitch just kept passing her the ball. It was like every time it went into midfield, it was like, all right, now give it back to Carter. And it was just a little bit too conservative. And I thought Emma Hayes sort of started that as well, where she didn't really ever set us up to go for it. Which was strange, because the little bit of joy we had in the game was actually when the very few times that we pressed Arsenal and we won the ball back high up the pitch. And again, I think we could have done that a little bit more, but it was like we were trying to conserve energy and just trying not to lose. That's how it seemed anyway, that we was more concerned about not losing rather than winning.
I mean, for Emma to make her subs so late.
That was awful game.
Oh, yeah. Everyone was calling for subs way before that.
Three subs in the 120, and only one was made in that 90. The third was obviously made within 1 minute of extra time remaining. I mean, our team, like Chris just touched on, they've been knackered from the March madness, and this game I felt when I was watching it on the TV. So whether I get an accurate view of sort of the game, I mean, it's different from when you're in person, but I kind of felt it swung to Arsenal in the extra time. And just for me to wait until the 119th minute to bring on Aggie, I mean, she's got a burst of pace against, these are tired legs, you know. I just felt that was poor management. I just did.
Yeah, we looked better as well. We looked, the best spell in the game we had was after Arsenal had scored, when we knew that we had to score, and sort of threw caution to the wind and went for it. That's the best that we looked, but it was too little too late by then. It had the feel of a game that was only ever going to have one goal in it. And unfortunately, when you concede that late in extra time, it's very, very hard to come back, although I do think we should have had a penalty after that.
Oh, my word. I will touch on that. I mean, first, I felt it was a lovely opening goal from Ramirez, ruled out by VAR for a handball. I mean, I've seen it. It was a forearm. Wasn't intentional, but that's a topic for another day about how that works in the rules. But the officiating was poor, though. I mean, 2 penalty shouts. One was on James, and one, which I am so convinced was a clear penalty, was the Macario one.
Yeah, later.
So obvious. I mean,
that happened as well. That was right in front of where we were sat.
Yeah.
And you could tell straight away. As soon as she went through the two players, you thought she's either through or they're going to foul her. And when she went down, you thought, well, that's a penalty all day.
I mean, Macario didn't get taken down slowly. It was just a clear taken out. And I know as Chelsea fans are used to poor VAR calls, but for a cup final, I felt the standard was a bit on the floor.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. It's the first game I've been to as well, with VAR, like it's actually used. I can see what people are on about in the ground with VAR.
You got no idea what's going on.
Yeah, because no one says anything. The game just stops and no one knows why. Like it didn't even come up on the screen that what VAR was looking at until they'd already made the decision, and you just think that's got to come up earlier, or you've got to start miking up the refs for when VAR's going on. Something's got to happen, because literally everyone just sits there like, what's going on?
yeah.
Do you know what, man? I'm so gutted. We've lost 2 finals this season in extra time.
Oh, I know. That's the worst, and so late.
Yeah.
I mean, look, someone's going to say, are you going to talk about it? Yes, the scenes at full time, they weren't great. I mean, look, Jonas was out of line with how he acted during the game, especially obviously everyone's going to point to the Cuthbert incident. Yeah, she was putting the ball back in play earlier in the game. And apparently that was because there was something about a multi-ball and one ball that was agreed to. I don't know how accurate that is. I've read about this. I don't know if that's on me. That
apparently we wanted to use the one ball system and Arsenal wanted to use the multi-ball or something.
Yeah, something. I mean, then there's the other side. We have to, play both sides here. Emma shoving Jonas away at the full time. It's not great. The media have jumped all over it, as they do. I mean, this is like an intense rivalry. It's been going on for years and years, And
the thing I will say though about that with Emma, and I really didn't like that because that, like, can you imagine what would have happened if somebody would have shoved her?
Yeah, exactly.
The other way around. It's an unfair situation in the first place, Yeah,
it's not a great game. Result, and yeah, we go again. Manchester United. Is it Manchester United in the FA Cup as well as this week as well for the men's team as well?
Oh God, do we really have to play United
I think it's
twice
a double.
In a week when we've been shit?
I'm pretty certain that I haven't just got myself confused here. I'm pretty sure we played them twice. Obviously both teams do. Yeah.
The men played them Thursday.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Double win. Talking of wins that look, Match Report. It's sponsored by.
Oh no, we suck again.
Chelsea 2, Burnley 2. I did find winners. I really made myself find 2 winners because I was worried we'd all just sulk and go, nope, no winners. But how many have we got?
No winners was tempting, but I have 2 winners.
Yeah, I've got 2 as well. But the second one was a bit of a push because I kind of had no one else.
Chris?
I've got 2 as well.
Oh, nice. Have we all got Cole Palmer?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I mean, he's the youngest Chelsea player ever with 20 goals and assists in a Premier League season. He's the first 21-year-old as well to do it in club history. He's a truly special guy. I mean, he will win when we do our end of season awards. He will win the Bad Back Award for carrying this entire Chelsea team. If we do not improve, though, he will leave one day because he does not deserve to be wasted in such a pathetically run club right now. I mean, Tim Sherwood, maybe.
I want to just on Palmer though, like he is a difference maker at the minute in moments.
Yeah,
I didn't think he had a great game though, aside from the moments, which is why he's a winner for me because I always like players who can almost win you a game in little moments in the game. But he's very selfish. And I think that is hindering us a bit in attack. Every time he gets the ball, he has a shot. Every time. Doesn't matter what's on. He's like,
can you blame him?
I'll have a shot.
Yeah.
When 20 odd of them have gone in, can you blame him?
Yeah, I just think he's got to realise that sometimes that isn't the best option.
No,
because I think we're missing the one thing that when you watch us that we're missing in attack. I think is a little bit of like a connection and some relationships forming where they know where each other are without looking. They want to play little 1-2s and intricate bits of football. And it seems at the minute like all of our forwards just want to do it by themselves. And I think that's what's hindering us.
I've got to
that
jump
did feel
in.
a lot. That was a big thing at Burnley. It did feel like that everyone was just trying to score a goal by themselves rather than as a team.
This season, his expected goals from every shot on target is 13.58. He scored 13 goals, so it's kind of working. I could see his logic. I mean, I get your point.
To be fair, then he's actually, if anything, he's underperforming.
He's had 29 shots on target apparently, according to the stats.
Yeah, out of about 70 shots, it must be
66. Good shout.
Yes,
good guess.
Yeah.
Any other comments on Palmer? But Berth, we'll go you.
He's just our best player at the minute, isn't he? He's a difference maker. He has to go to Euro, surely.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to, but for me, he has to. But
he's not going to play ahead of Saka, is he?
No, he ain't going to get in ahead of Foden either.
No.
But the thing is, though, if I'm Man City, I'm kicking myself because I watched them yesterday, and Foden didn't play well. Grealish didn't play well. Doku didn't play well. Don't get me wrong, Foden's been unbelievable this season, but Grealish and Doku have not done anything this season. You're looking at Cole Palmer and you're thinking, wow, he's doing it in an average Chelsea team, and he's getting goals, he's getting assists, he's changing games in big moments as well. So they've got to be kicking themselves. And if they don't win the league this season, I'm not saying it's because they sold Cole Palmer, but having someone like Cole Palmer to come on or start is he'll get more goals than Doku in that Man City team and Grealish. So it's a mistake on their part, I think.
I mean, fair play. You watched the game. I watched 10 minutes and turned it off. It was boring. It was boring.
It was probably the worst game I've ever watched.
Oh, it was awful. I mean, anyway, that's for the Premier League podcast we do. My second winner is the data, because the XG data said that we won that one 4.1 to 1.6. Nice one, boys. That's what we need. I don't know if it'll count on the table, but hey,
big win.
We won the moral high ground, and that's what matters in this game. You know,
XG table represent.
Yeah, we're top. Maybe not.
I know you're joking about that, but can I just go back to Palmer real quick, because I just wanted to say one thing about him. The one thing that I thought was really good about Palmer wasn't even the game, actually. I don't think anything in the game he did, apart from his 2 goals, were really all that good, a bit like Chris said. But actually, his mentality is unbelievable. Like, in his interview after the game, they said, "Oh yeah, you must be happy with 2 goals." And he said, like, you know, when you don't get the 3 points, it doesn't really matter. And that is exactly what you want to hear from our players. You know, I don't want to hear, "Oh yeah, I'm happy I scored." No, I want you to be happy the team won or didn't.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Right, who wants to go with their second winner then?
I mean, I'm clutching at straws, but I'm going to go with Mudryk, because I actually thought he played all right. I thought he played well. He looked sharp. Won a penalty. Put in a really good ball for Disasi. And in a game,
true. Should have had like 3 assists.
To be fair, like everyone, I don't think anyone had a really awful game, but I don't think anyone had a great game. Everyone was kind of like a 6 out of 10. I just thought, because he won a penalty, looked relatively sharp, I'm just going to give it him. I just thought it was the best out of a bad bunch, really. So yeah, Mudryk can have my flowers.
Chris, who's your second winner?
I've got Enzo.
Wow!
Oh, whoa!
Jesus
did
Christ!
not see that coming. Okay,
Chris just doesn't want to lose his other wing mirror.
Clip it, listeners. There's the narrative gone out the window. It's not true. Go on, Chris. Why is he a winner?
But I'll come on. It's a bit weird because I'm a bit like Berth. It's not like a hands down winner.
Yeah,
but I thought he did try and make things happen. I thought his passing was a lot better. And he did try in the second half to be the player who got on the ball and tried to unlock the Burnley defense. Didn't work, but you know, I appreciate the effort. And I just think it was one of his better games in terms of, I actually noticed him in this game. Whereas I think a lot of games do pass him by. And I watched it on Saturday and thought, at least I've seen him play today. So that's why he's a winner for me.
Okay. Ollie, who's your final winner?
Final winner for me, we're all eating humble pie today. Mine's Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, I was thinking to go Sterling.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and because, you know, what we've said about him a lot recently, you know, he's lazy, he's selfish, he isn't working for the team, all the rest of it. He came on today to a good fanfare from the fans, which I appreciate, against Burnley. He came on and he did, to a decent fanfare. And he just was everything that he hadn't been lately. Like, you know, like I felt that he was a lot more positive. He was driving with the ball. He was making like decent passes around. Did a lovely little flick for Palmer's goal. Like the assist for that
good flick.
Is really deft, you know, like, and if we're going to say something, you know, someone like Palmer is magical for assisting Chukwuemeka's goal in the same way, you have to give Sterling his flowers for that.
Okay.
And I know late on in the game he could have won it with that header, where he was kind of in a free space. It was a free header. I personally don't give him a massive amount of slack for that one, because it's fucking Sterling. Do you expect him to win like all of his headers? No, obviously you don't. Even when he's free, he doesn't win them all. But also, that was the first time. Like, I didn't see any other of our attackers get into that position or a position like that all game.
Yeah.
So it's like at least he was there to miss it. Because that's what I really felt was such a big issue against Burnley, is that we just weren't really. It didn't feel like for lots of the game we were really properly trying to create anything. It didn't really feel like we were just trying to, I don't know, somehow will the ball into the net without actually doing the hard work to make it happen.
I will say that. I'll be fair. Sterling, can you guess how many? He's got 121 Premier League goals. Can you guess how many been headers?
1.
4.
Well, it's 10%, it's 11. So it's,
Wow.
I don't think we should be unfair or too harsh on him for that. You got a good point. I mean, yeah, he did well to bounce back as well.
If that's like Haaland or whatever, yes, like obviously crucify him for that. But like if it's Drogba, obviously, you're going to criticize him for missing that. But it's Sterling.
Exactly.
You're not expecting a dive-in header, are you?
Got to be fair, and we've got to give him credit. I didn't expect him to score that header, but we'll move to losers. I've got 3. I stick to the format. Did you lot?
I did.
I always 4. Do.
Good birth.
I stuck to the format.
How many did you have, Ollie?
I've got 3. I stuck to the format because I knew Berth would be angry.
Chris, how many you got?
I've got 4 just to one.
Oh no,
dickhead! This is why I haven't come on the podcast. This is why I'm being on, because you've got just people going into business for themselves.
Oh my word!
And, you won't see me for another 4 weeks now.
Wow.
He's like a Chelsea player.
I'm gonna
Reece James.
Yeah. I'm gonna go and run because it's very quick. This is the 2023-24 season. There's 10 games remaining, and yet it already kind of feels it's over for us. Pack your bags, go on the holiday. We had a lovely schedule to start this season, and we dropped points left, right, and centre. We lost to Villa, we lost to Forest, we lost to West Ham, we lost to Brentford, we then lost to Newcastle and Everton, and then we drew against Bournemouth. I mean, that wasn't in one order. I mean, that'd be bloody dreadful, and Potts would have been fired. But that should have sort of told us that this season we weren't back up. I mean, we hadn't even got the car started. And now, obviously, we draw to 19th place Burnley, who were playing the entire second half with 10 men and no manager at Stamford Bridge. I just don't know how we could sink any lower.
Oh, don't worry. We've got Man United on Thursday.
The thing is, though,
we
this
got
Chelsea
great
team,
game.
This will sum up. I can see us beating Man U because that's just who we are. We're just so inconsistent these days. It's just
very mid-table.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is what we are. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
I'm gonna go to you, Berth. Who's your loser?
Petrovic.
Yeah, he's on mine.
Because the second goal was awful, but I also thought he could have done better with the first goal, if I'm honest. Which may seem a bit harsh, but I think he has to save that because he's got a hand to it.
A bit harsh.
It might be, but I think a world-class keeper keeps it out.
Maybe.
I just think,
I agree. Alisson probably does save it, doesn't he?
I just think I think someone like a Vicario, a Martinez, Alisson, Edison. I think they all save it.
Everyone keeps sleeping on Areola this season. I'm
he's been
awake.
very good, to be fair. The thing is, I was so hesitant. I almost made Petrovic a winner and a loser, because I thought in the first, he kept us in the game a lot, especially like when Burnley were going forward. There were a few times where if it wasn't for him, we definitely would have conceded.
Mm-hmm.
And so then fuck up like he did later in the game with catching that ball, which is inexcusable, by the way, for a goalkeeper. I don't know. I feel like it's harsh to use one moment to criticize his full game, because I thought his full game
he
was
didn't
right.
cover himself in glory for the O'Shea goal, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris,
I think
Chris.
the problem with Petrovic though is when he made that mistake, the second goal.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it has cost us 3 points.
Yes.
So it's not like that was the first goal and then we scored a second. And if you swap the Burnley goals round, I think you could make a case for him not being a loser. But he did it at the most crucial part of the game, and it's like that's not a time where you want your goalkeeper to fuck up. I don't know what he was doing. It's like he hadn't decided whether to catch it or punch it, so he just did neither. And then The first time though, actually, I've seen him make like a real mistake.
I agree. That's his first.
It doesn't
proper
excuse you from the losers list for me because we're talking specifically about this game.
Yeah. I mean, who's your second loser, Chris?
Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah, he was on mine.
Yeah.
But I was just really disappointed with him. He did well.
Ran the channels. He did all right
with his first chance.
He did all right when he got the ball, but that was like maybe less than 1% of the time.
With his first chance of the game, he had good feet in the box, and the keeper made a good save. Probably should finish it still, but it's a good. He did well there to sort of manufacture the chance. But after that, I just didn't see him. Didn't get involved enough. Just a really strange game from him against a Burnley team who they didn't exactly sit in either. Like. I've seen some people saying about us struggling against a low block again. If you watch how Burnley played, they didn't really play with a low block. No, it wasn't that. There was space. We just didn't use it intelligently enough. And I think it should have been a game that Jackson really took hold of, and he just didn't.
Ollie, you've had technically one loser with Jackson. Who did you say Petrovic as well, or not?
No, I didn't. I wanted to make him my fourth one, but I thought Berth would be upset, so I didn't.
Go with your second loser then.
Gallagher.
Yeah, Gallagher's on mine.
He's fallen off a little in the last month or so. I think his performances have not been quite at the same level. And he's been so good for us this season that we've got to criticize him to his standard, which is very high. I just thought he wasn't there. He had something like 35 touches or something like that. Like playing in the 10 against Burnley with 10 men, that's inexcusable, isn't it? Really, like you should be driving the attack forward. You need to be doing something, and he really a bit like Jackson and a bit like Cucurella, who someone might talk about, but maybe not. Just kind of didn't really get into the game at all. Like I just wasn't really involved, and for that he's got to be a loser.
Okay. My second loser is anyone listening, anyone here who didn't appreciate the 2015-16 season. Because back then you could sort of sense it, there was sort of that vibe in the dressing room, there was some friction just holding that team back from going all out. And we look back at that year as one of our, awful years. But this year, and even the last, I mean, this feels like where we really belong. And that's why it kind of stings for me, because I mean, it's like we've now found our level, but it's not the one we were hoping for. I mean, we do play and act like a mid-table team. You said about the Man United game. If we go and win that game Thursday, you would then point and go, yeah, we expect that. But you wouldn't expect us to then carry that on into the next game. It's just
No, I totally agree. Yeah, totally agree.
Man, I mean, it's just such a weird vibe. It's one I've never experienced with this club.
The team's just so inexperienced, I think, and so young that they get cocky against teams that they think they should be beating. That's one of the biggest things I think it is, because we always seem to actually turn up when we actually try against a big team, and it seems like everyone's switched on. Everyone wants to be able to win, and that's the hunger of young players. But the other side of that is, if they are confident, and if you sign him for Chelsea for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 million, why wouldn't you be? Then when you play in Burnley, you're thinking, oh yeah, we'll turn these over easily. What annoys me is that surely they will have learned by now that that's not the case. Surely.
Who wants to go with their third loser?
My third loser is VAR. And I say that because I just don't see how that Mudryk penalty was a penalty. And I get it. I'm glad we got it, but that is horrendous officiating. should never have been a penalty in the first place, but then to not turn it over, I think it is mad.
I think that wasn't really a penalty, but arguably Dizazi's goal should have stood.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Like, if you were to swap those two things happening over, it feels more fair.
Because the Disasi thing annoyed me on two levels. Firstly, I think it goes in off his sleeve line, which they'll give you offside for. So I don't know what the rule is.
Yes.
If
can you score with it or not?
Yeah, exactly. If they're saying you can't score with that part, then why are you giving it offside with that part? Or secondly, if they've said, he's handled that into the goal, so we're going to disallow the goal, well, we'll have the penalty for the shirt pull then, because the reason why he
Yeah.
doesn't head it in is because the bloke's got his shirt.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot disagree with you at all with that. Who's got another third loser?
I've got one.
Oh, Ollie, go for it. Who's your final?
Second halves. This
Yeah.
season,
That's a good one.
Yeah.
yeah,
Those team talks.
absolutely, yeah. Whatever we do at halftime, it's not working, brother. Because it seems that we seem to start games so well and quite positively, or it takes us sort of 10 minutes, then we have like a good rest of the half, and then after that we just shit the bed and fall apart. And I saw this the other day. In terms of like the halves table, our first halves were like third or fourth in the league, something like that. We're like quite high up in the table, and we're like 18th in second halves, if only second halves counted. Like that, it's unbelievable how much we drop off. And I don't know if it's fitness, I don't know if it's the young players, I don't know if it's instructions, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's Pochettino's motivation or lack thereof. I just don't understand how it can happen so consistently.
That's fair. That's very fair. I believe it's just me and Chris left with losers. Is that right?
Chris has about 4 left, don't you, Chris?
Just the two, Berth. Don't be silly.
Chris, who's your? You know what? Go with your third loser first. Go on. Who is it?
Noni Madueke.
Wow, that's surprising.
Whoa. Okay.
Where's that come from?
I didn't
Mikey's
expect
man.
that. I know.
One of the worst substitute performances I think I've ever seen. He
Really? Is
literally
that
came.
bad?
Wow.
He came on the pitch against 10-man Burnley to help the attack, and I think he hindered it. I think the attack would have been better if he'd actually just gone back off. I didn't see him do a single thing right. He gave
He
the
offered
ball
less
away.
than nothing.
Yeah, he gave the ball away. I think every single time he had it.
Wow.
Either a terrible pass, a terrible touch. It was a bit like when he played against Middlesbrough in the first leg.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was like he looked like someone who had forgot how to play football,
I'm
which
not
is
sure
so
if it was
weird.
that bad, to be fair.
He looks like Madueke's problem, and you can see why he doesn't start game after game, is because he's either really good or absolutely terrible. There doesn't seem to be an in-between with him. Like, you watch him play for England under 21s, and he looks like someone you'd pay 60 million for. And then sometimes you watch
he
him
either
for
wins
us
the
and you
game by
wouldn't pay
himself.
£6.
Yeah, either wins the game by himself, or like you say, he offers less than nothing.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of players like that, though. I there's so many players that you could pinpoint that at. So he's not the only one.
No, he's not the only one. I just thought in this game where we needed to score to win the game again, I just think a lot of our attacks broke down as soon as we got him involved.
Okay. Who's your fourth loser before I use mine up?
Sounds a little bit weird considering I had Enzo as a winner, but just the midfield in general.
Okay.
Mainly because, again, it was another game, and bear in mind we're playing even before the 10 men. We're playing a team who are in the relegation zone and look almost certain to go down, and it's another game where the midfield didn't get a grasp of the game. Our midfield is so bad in transition. If we give the ball away, they get through midfield like it's not even there. It's so rare that our midfield break up a counter-attack. It always comes down to the defenders winning it. If the attack haven't won it, they'll get to our back line then, because the midfield won't do anything.
And then you wonder why our defenders are making so many mistakes as well.
Exactly.
They're not being protected.
And I look at it, and I do think like a lot of our defenders after this game especially have took a lot of criticism, but the midfield in front of them, there was no protection at all. You look at the Burnley first goal, there isn't a single one of our midfielders in shot. Caicedo's deeper than the centre halves for some reason. Enzo Fernandez is at left back with Cucurella. Why is he over there? Cucurella had one player and Enzo is over there with him. Why? And their midfielders just stood in the middle of the pitch completely free. Gallagher stood behind him just watching him play. It's the midfield, I think, is our biggest weakness at the minute, because I just don't think they are ever getting a real grasp of a game, controlling the tempo, allowing us to sustain attacks by breaking up counter-attacks. I just don't think they're getting it right in any area, and that's a big problem. And I think the difference between us and a lot of the teams above us is their midfield just operates better as a unit.
Okay.
Do you think that's sorry, Chris? Do you think that's tactical, or do you think that's personnel?
I think it's down to the fact that they just don't complement each other well enough. So I think it's personnel in a way, but not individually. I just don't think they're good partners for each other. I think Gallagher's trying to do something. Yeah, Gallagher's trying to do something that doesn't suit Caicedo, and Caicedo's trying to do something that doesn't suit Enzo. Enzo's trying to do something that doesn't complement the other two. It's like, who's doing what? Like, it seems like they're all just trying to do a bit of everything rather than having a specific role to do.
It seems mad to think that we might still need to sign an actual defensive midfielder.
Yeah, I think we do. I think we have to sign someone who's literally just there to break up counter-attacks.
Okay. Right, my final loser was just Pochettino's press conference, because I watched his post-game press conference, and it was
why?
I mean, someone's got to do it on this show. His reaction, though, to that last question kind of said it all. He was asked about the importance of a player between the ages of 21 and 24 and their development. He just chuckled and gave a non-answer. And that for me, first of all, that's the wrong way to answer that question. I look at this squad, and many players are not Chelsea material. And I kind of don't think Poch is, but our ownership certainly are not proving to be Chelsea level. I mean, this team kind of, it feels like it lacks heart when it's extra time. We've seen that, against Liverpool. Bloody hell. I mean, sometimes it lacks intelligence. I mean,
I think, no, it is intelligence. I don't think it's heart. I think it's intelligence.
I mean, poor decisions.
The ignorance of youth.
Yeah, poor decisions on the ball. Gallagher made some unnecessary fouls, In fact, you know what? We've all touched on it. Unnecessary fouls there, long shots for no reason after we've built pressure up. And I mean, it's the second half of games that we just consistently have been showing no attempt to control the game. We just sort of reset and panic.
I think what it is as well, though, I think Ollie touched on it earlier. I think it's the inexperience of this team. We don't have the players who just know how to win a game. So when you need to change what you're doing just to get the result, like, it's fine going in with a plan. Every team goes in with a plan, but the best teams will switch up when they think, oh, actually, okay, we know it's going, like this. You take this game, for example, when we went 2-1 up, yes, we're playing Burnley, who are in the relegation zone. Yes, they've got 10 men, but we've got the lead now. We should be slowing the game down, keeping the ball, winning throw-ins, winning free kicks, kill the game and just let it peter out to a 2-1. If you can get a third, great, but you don't need to. But we just play the same way, regardless of what the score is. And I think that comes down to inexperience. I think you look at us and you look at Man United, which I think Man United are the only other big club I would say that we are close to catching.
I would agree.
And the difference is they have experience. They will get results when they are absolutely shit.
And they have done all season.
Yeah, they can be absolutely fucking awful and they'll win still. And that comes down to they have players in their team who are experienced enough to know when to speed a game up, when to slow it down. And just those little things in games, that little bit of nous that you get with experience of how to get the result that you want on the day, regardless of your performance. We don't have that. This team has no one to carry them through. They're all looking at each other, and there's nobody there who's used to being in that position.
I mean, I think that's pretty accurate. Right, we got to pull up an emoji. I just went with the shrug. I'm so used to this now. Second half,
double shrug, folks. I had the shrug as well.
Chris,
eye roll. That's what I did when they equalised. Just rolled my eyes and thought, "Yeah, that's about right."
I had the one, where like he's got his hand on his face, so just under it, like pointing at his lip, and he's sort of like looking at his like, "What the fuck have I just watched?" That's my one.
Oh man, that's fair. Right, you know what? We've got to go to the Lion of the Week. And Lions, hang on though. The Lions from the weekend were Palmer. I think that's a win. Jackson, he was reasonable. and Enzo. And considering he was on Chris's winners list, I think that's not bad.
Yeah.
You know,
It means
I'll tell
more
you,
if he's on Chris's winners list.
I think Berth was right when you said earlier, Berth, that no one was terrible, but no
Yeah.
one was good.
It was just everyone was like a 6 or a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's a bit of a
that's
hard
fair.
one to pick winners and losers this week.
But I think the very fact that everyone was a 6 or 5 out of 10 against a team that were down to 10 men and were already relegation threatened is shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
yeah,
great.
no, it's
Not
bad,
great.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man. Well, we do have a midweek because Man United are coming to the Bridge. 8:15 British Standard Time on a Thursday because why not? What are we looking at? Who we got?
I'm going to go with Sterling, because I think he's going to play a big game.
Okay. Chris.
I'm gonna go with Caicedo. I think one of the Man United's weakest points is their midfield. So if Caicedo has a good game, we've got a chance.
Sure,
That's true. Ollie, who is it?
I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna go with Palmer, and I'm gonna keep going until he doesn't
Easy.
score.
Okay. Well, I've gone for the wheel as always, and I have got please stop there. Oh, so close. I've got Nicholas Jackson. Okay.
That's good.
Who were you hoping for?
The player before on the wheel was Mudryk, and I thought I could see him doing really well. I really could, but
I think you've done all right with Nicholas Jackson over Mudryk, to be honest. But
hey,
Yeah,
I'll
I think
take it.
I think the wheel saved you, mate.
I'll take it. I will take it. Right. Quaresma's questions, and I pull up my little Instagram post, and it was Julian has asked, is not playing Thiago Silva tactical in preparation for not having him next season?
No,
Could be.
no, it's personal. It's because his wife was rude about the coach.
Yeah.
Well, you
That's
think
why.
that's still
No,
going? You think that's still going?
Of course that's why.
I don't think it is. I think it's genuinely because at the end of the day, he's almost 40. We need to play with our patch players as well. You want the defenders further up the pitch. I do think it's slightly tactical.
It's
might
absolutely
be
100% personal.
It might be
I'm telling you,
personal
man.
as well. There might be a bit of that, but I think you've got to.
I think if his wife doesn't say anything, he's still playing.
I don't know.
I think no matter which one it is, I think it's wrong. I think it's a bit stupid, to be honest. I think if you watch the game on Saturday when we went 2-1 up, Thiago Silva would have been the sub that I brought on.
Yeah, I'd agree.
That experience to get you through the game,
Yeah,
to not
agreed.
make sure you don't concede again.
That's
But
the
instead,
thing that's the thing
that's not
about
what
him
we're
at the
doing.
moment is that like it's not even like he's coming on as a sub. He's just not playing at all.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
actually true. I mean, I just typed it into Google. It looks like he might go to Fluminense, but I loved how it comes up. It says, people also asked, what did Thiago Silva's wife say? Has Thiago Silva won the Club World Cup? Does Thiago Silva have a wife? How many goals has Thiago Silva scored for Chelsea? Does Thiago Silva have any tattoos? I love it. It's just random
Weird
things.
questions.
People, yeah, really, really random stuff. But here's not what's not random. Monday show. Archie Thompson's top trumps. The team have to guess whether something's higher or lower. So we're going to have some fun. This week's category is the England national team. So I will give you a player. You just got to tell me if they have more or less England caps than the previous player. And we start with Phil Neville, who has 59 England caps.
That is 58 too many.
Well, he's got a lot. It's nothing to do with Gary being his brother, I'm sure. But
Phil Neville was all right back in the day.
However many Gary Neville's got is also too many.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know how many.
harsh.
I'm not.
Harsh.
I can't. He's not on the. He's not on my list for this, so it doesn't matter. We'll go Chris. We'll go Chris, Ollie, Berth. So Chris, you've got Paul Gascoigne, more or less than 59.
Well, that's actually a tough one, you know, because he did famously get dropped, didn't he? I'm going to say more.
No, 2 less, 57. Ollie, you've got Joe Hart. Head and shoulders, he is above everyone.
Haha. He was England #1 for a good few years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say more.
It was 75. Berth, you've got Owen Hargreaves.
Oh well.
No, see, right, okay, so
He was only he was injured all the time.
I think it is less, but Argy's he's got more caps than you think he has. It is less though, surely.
You know what? How many do you think he has? It is less.
I reckon he's got about 42.
Oh my! What? Yes, 42.
I'll tell you what, I am unbelievable. I am unbelievable.
Bloody hell!
That is actually insane.
Wow!
Right, can I just say?
Berth is really good at googling.
No, I honestly, I'd love to say I got it from Google. I'm just literally texting my sister, and it just came out with 42. And like,
bloody hell!
Like, I mean, if ever you needed proof that I am an absolute genius at football knowledge,
I wouldn't put it past Berth to get that right on the spot because his ball knowledge is unreal.
Where has Berth been the last few weeks? He's been in a mountain getting his football knowledge ready to beat Chris every time.
You know in Batman Begins where like he goes into the mountains to become Batman. That's what I've been doing with the football knowledge.
Chris, you've got Steve McManaman.
What's the number to beat? Sorry, I've lost
42. 42.
How could you forget?
Steve McManaman, more or less than 42. Let's go more.
Older now.
No, 37. Ollie, Sol Campbell.
Yeah, his career was cut short by injury as well. I'm gonna go more.
73. It is indeed. Berth, you got Jermaine Defoe.
Ooh, 73. I'm gonna go less.
It was 57. Chris, Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah, a lot of the older players here.
It's just by fortune, isn't it?
It's because you're the oldest, Chris.
Wait for who Ollie's got. Wait for who Ollie's got next.
Oh,
I'm not that old. Jesus.
I'm gonna get Bobby Moore or something.
What was the number again? 50 what?
57.
Considering you said you're not that old, because you're forgetting the numbers a fair bit. Are you sure you're not?
Oh no!
Yeah, always say the mind is the first to go, folks.
That's fair. I'm going to say less.
It was 53. Ollie, you've got Robbie Fowler.
Oh, great. A guy who I never saw play. I
saw him at Man City play.
I'm going to go less.
Yeah, it was 26. And Berth, you finish up with Theo Walcott.
26. I'm going to go with more.
47. Did indeed.
You should have asked him to get the number exactly again.
Oh, well, it's a good job he's on form because it's Easter Monday and we're doing a double quiz. I've got Ross Turnbull's Tenaball. It's back.
Oh, I like this one.
This is all right. Right.
No,
right. You got to give, you can work as a team and you got to come up with as many answers as you can out of 10 in a given category.
This list better not be as stupid as that one last
No,
week.
it's not. This is a football related one.
What the fuck is this?
The category for this game will be unemployed Premier League managers. So you got to work together and name 10 managers who are currently unemployed and their last job was a Premier League job. Now, just for context, Wenger and Ferguson have retired. So they're not on this list. And this is according to Transfermarkt.
The last 10 Premier League managers to be sacked.
I can't comment because some of them might have jobs again. I don't know.
Yeah, they might have gone abroad somewhere.
So if they... Okay, I'm just a bit confused here. So
they have to be not working anywhere in the world, but their last job was in the Premier League.
Chris has got it spot on.
Okay, right. That's actually quite difficult then. I've got one though. I've got one straight off the bat, I think. Yeah. Antonio Conte.
Yeah, he's on there.
What about Sam Allardyce? Is Sam Allardyce one?
Yes. Oh, what? Can you name the club?
Sunderland.
No.
Baggies.
West Brom.
Leeds. No. When did that happen?
Yes,
when did that happen?
To Leeds.
When?
After Bielsa.
Hold on. Talking of Leeds. Actually, yeah.
I've got two more.
Jesse Marsh.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I've got two more. Potter and Lampard.
Yeah. That's 5. You're up to 5 now, boys.
Oh, well done, Ollie.
Thank you.
Welcome to the game, Ollie.
Thank you.
There are 7 names left. 7 names left, but you only need 5.
Is Mourinho one?
No, he went to Roma.
I thought because
he's won a trophy as well.
Is Ralph Hasenhüttl one?
Yes,
I thought he just got a job.
He's still unemployed. Jesus Christ!
I think he's just got a job at Wolfsburg or somewhere like that.
I'm just going to check.
Yeah, do check. VAR, folks.
When did that happen?
Has he actually gone to Wolfsburg?
Burf's undefeatable, man.
When did that happen?
Honestly,
March 17th. Well, I missed that.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I am.
No.
I am
That's his agent.
I'm basically.
Okay.
I need to work at Sky Sports News, so
Fair play.
I was somewhere.
Okay.
Man. Chris
Right.
Wilder?
No,
Fred-
no, Chris Wilder's managing
He's at
Sheffield
Sheffield
United.
United now.
No, wait, who's the one before him?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Eckenbaum,
Need a name.
Eckenbaum.
Yes.
yeah.
You have got 5 left. 6 left that are on this list officially.
6 left?
Yeah.
I thought we was only doing 10. I feel like we've got.
I
6
know,
already.
but there's 6 total names left.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely we can get more. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You need 4 more. Come on, team.
Who managed Everton before?
Hold on. I've
Dyche?
got one.
Go on.
Roy Hodgson.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
What about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
Yes. No. Oh.
He's not
Oh,
working,
maybe.
is it?
Hang on. Let me just
Yeah,
check.
surely
We'll get,
he's not
we'll
going
get
anywhere.
VAR in.
Because
We'll
he's
get
been linked with
VAR
the
in.
Bayern job, isn't it? And his last job was Man United, wasn't it?
No, I'm allowing it. It's VAR. It's in. Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
So,
VAR.
so
we
we
love VAR.
we need 2 more.
Yeah, I pulled this from Transfermarkt, so it's on them for this.
Right.
But Duncan Ferguson.
That's a good shout. What?
That's
No,
all right,
he's-
that is
no,
a
I
I'm
good
trying to
shout.
think about
No,
who's managed
he's-
Everton recently.
I think he's managed Forest Green. I think he's managed Forest Green since then.
It gets worse. He's actually a manager right now, still
Oh, fair enough.
Inverness.
Oh,
But,
wow.
but he was at Forest Green, weren't he?
Yeah,
Doesn't count.
yeah.
God, I'm just so fucking good at this. Right.
I can't wait for one of these names because he hasn't worked for so long, but he's still officially considered an active manager.
Alan Pardew.
No.
Because he disappeared off the face of the earth, didn't
Steve
he? Like, no one knows
Bruce.
where he is.
Steve Bruce.
No, he's managed a lot in the championship since.
Oh, okay.
Alan Kirbishley.
Yes. Oh, well, hang on. I want to double check that before I say yes on that because I haven't got it on the list, but I feel that's correct. But was
I
it?
haven't seen him anywhere else.
No, I think that's right. I think I'm going to allow that because West Ham, were they relegated at that point?
No, he was he the one who took him down?
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go for an absolute jazzy one here that I reckon could be right, but might not be. Felix Magath at Fulham.
Hey, I'm pulling this list off, and I apparently he was not on it. Let's have a look. I'm just going to. I'm going to Transfermarkt because that's the one.
Well, like Tony Pulis.
Oh, he was at Hertha Berlin, so no.
Well,
Tony Pulis isn't. I'll give you some clues. You got a Wolves former manager, another Forest.
Oh, Lopetegui.
Lopetegui.
Steve
Avram
Cooper.
Grant.
Steve Cooper.
No, Steve Cooper's on there. Yeah, you've done it.
Right.
The
Brilliant.
the other ones you could have had were Graham Souness, apparently still active according to transfer.
Graham Souness. Oh,
Newcastle, Ian Dowie, and Javi Grazia.
Ian Dowie. Wow, that is a
Fair
blast
enough.
from the past.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You know what? What didn't Slaven Bilic have like a prem job recently? Like, where is he working now?
He was at Baggies, weren't he?
Yeah, he was.
He was at Baggies.
But then he
And then
he
he-
got sacked when they was in the
no.
championship.
His
weren't they?
last club was Al Fateh in the Saudi Pro League. Oh, he's still there.
That's
course
why.
it- of
Still
course it
there.
was.
He's still there. Yeah,
Fair
he's
play,
still
Slaven.
there.
Get the
There was-
bag, bro.
Oh man, and he managed Watford as well before then, and Beijing Guan. I don't even remember that. Now everyone's managed Watford at some point. Graham Potter will
that's
do it. He probably will. Right, there we go. Well done, team. Thanks for listening, everyone. Treat yourself well. We'll be back later on this week, Friday, because Thursday we've got a game. So until then, that'll be us signing off. You've been listening to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At the Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.